takes its toll. But listen closely.
Not for very much longer.
I've got to keep control. Doing the time war, drinking those moments when the blackness would hit me and the void would be calling.
I'll turn it off because I hate to compile it all. Either way, I've got it.
It's just a jump to the left. With your hands on your hips.
It's so dreamy. Oh, fantasy free me. So you can't see me. No, not at all. In another dimension. With voyeuristic intention. Well secluded. I see all.
With a bit of a mind flip.
You're into the time slip.
And nothing can ever be the same.
You spaced out on sensation.
Like you're under sedation.
Let's do time warp again. Let's do time warp again.
All righty. I hope everybody can hear me. Welcome, everybody. This is the, happy Halloween. And this is the final session for the day. We will be covering our component which ends off our CRM. So if you've joined us for the previous sessions, welcome back. And if this is the only session you're joining, welcome. It is going to be a spooky experience. Alrighty, we're going to run through the idea of CRM from the component where we are going to set something up and it will fire out. We can set it to fire out on its own. So just a quick introduction for today, a small start to what it is that we're doing.
Yeah, I just,
Sorry, I just want to just do some muting in the back end. Holly, can you manage that in the back end there for me? Yeah, so we will be muting you. So if you do need to speak, come off of mute and then you can speak, but we'll give you an opportunity at the end. Don't try not to jump on in just because we've got an agenda and we want to run through. I've got 30 minutes with you today. So in the interest of time, I've got my team in the back end and they can answer your questions. So just pop them into the chat and we'll answer them there. Alrighty, so back to our agenda for today. We are focusing in on the component of customer relationship management and just an overview of everything. What we will be covering is how to set things up, which is not so actively managed. So in the first section, we've got a more active component. If you weren't in that first session, pop us an email. We're going to get the email out into the chat right now. And we will send you a recording of our first session if this is the only session we're on. However, there's two main ideas that we're going to be jumping into today, and that's going to be building your templates, and that's your messaging that's going to go out. Now, this is going to be exciting from a component. It's got a nice artistic twist to it. And you can add things like images, you can add video and all those fun components to that as well. So we're going to look at building templates. Then we're going to use those templates that we've just built to try to set up campaigns. And we'll look at some of the triggers as to how we can fire out and how we can set them up to fire out in different ways. So that's how we're going to jump in for today. From here, I'll jump back into, or at least I'll jump from here into Velocity. and I will start out on the home screen here. Now, as I mentioned before, you have an active component to which you will manage or keep your hand on it actively so that you can watch that messaging. And then you have a passive component. Today's section will be focusing on the passive component, or at least this section of today will focus on the passive component. Just a little reminder, it is Halloween, so if you are in costume, you got to put on your camera, you got to show us to be entered into the draw, and you can win some prizes. We also have a pet competition going on our social media. If your pet's dressed up, remember to send us your photos there. Alrighty, let's jump on into Velocity now. I hope everybody can see my screen and hear me nicely clearly. Alrighty, the component of CRM that I'm going to focus on next is almost as if it's an animal on its own. So it's
What's
not
left in this body?
as this
Yeah.
previously mentioned under workflows. It's not the same as that in the sense that when I go in to set these up, it is going to take me to a different section that is not our home screen of Velocity. So my first tip to you is when you're dealing or at least setting up customer relationship management from a passive component, try to go on into the black bar over here, but instead of clicking on it with your regular click, your left click, right click on it to open this up and open this inside of a new tab. Now, why I'm suggesting that you do that is opening it up into a new tab. You can pop into Velocity CRM, and as you can see, it really looks different, but you can still have Velocity open in a different tab if you want to jump back in there and jump into a deal and get some information. So you've got both of them open. You can jump through them as you so wish to do. Now, I'm just going to stay on the home screen over here just for another 2 more tips for you. The first one being, if you on your dashboard here, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and make sure. Sorry, guys, I'm not sure if how I got muted there. Somehow I got muted. It's a good idea from your dashboard over here to make sure that all of your deals are within the correct status. And this is, if you're wondering why on earth I'm in the dashboard right now, this is just a little tip for you, because the CRM is going to be set up on specific triggers. Those triggers could be set up to fire under the status.
You're muted again.
I'm not sure why it's muting me. Am I still sharing? Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll watch if I'm not sure why I'm being muted, but I'll watch for that now. On your dashboard, make sure your deals are in or within the correct status over here. Status is very important because it does form a trigger that fires out. So if, for an example here, if I'm doing a maturity campaign, that's just an example. If I'm doing a maturity campaign, it's going to fire out based on the status. So at least funded in awaiting payment and beyond, it will fire out. So if your deal's still sitting in approved and you haven't moved it over to waiting to close and funded in awaiting payment, well, then your deal's never going to fire because it will never find that trigger. So again, if you are monitoring the status to which your deal is in, you can set up, it will be easier for you to set up those triggers on your campaigns. That's just one more, that's the one component. And I've got one more tip for you before we jump into CRM. That is, if you go to me and you open up your profile page, not sure how many of you have scrolled down all the way to the bottom on your profile page here, but if you do, you'll find Velocity CRM. Now within here, it's quite important that you focus in on the fact you have your social media linked in here. So you've got your Facebook, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And what you could do here is insert the link to those specific pages. So if you want the link to your Facebook page or your business Facebook page, you can pop that on in for Facebook, your handle for LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and it will take them directly to that when they click on the icon within your template. And that I'll show you in a moment, but you set those links in here. So I'll return to that in a moment. Let's jump on over to your Velocity CRM now. The first thing that you're going to see if you open that up is your home page for Velocity CRM. And again, this is recorded, but one of the most important things that you need to grasp, if anything, out of today is that is 3 different types of campaigns. Now, these types are the following. The first one is a contact campaign or contact-based campaign. And this is surrounding or related to how it is that you would like this particular campaign to trigger out. So if the trigger is going to be based around the contact information of that individual, then it is a contact-based campaign. And a great example of that is a birthday campaign. Birthday campaign, it has no concern about anything with regard to the deal. It's got something to do with the contact information, or at least what was inserted into the contact page, which is the birth date of that client. So that is what a contact based campaign is. Alternatively, you have a deal-based campaign, which is unlike a contact-based campaign, looking for the trigger within the deal. So that, for example, a maturity campaign, again, is going to look for the closing date and fire on out based on that closing date. So it is a deal-based campaign. So the trigger's based within the deal, whereas a contact-based, the trigger's based within the contact. Now, I left property for the, which is in the middle for last, because the property-based campaign, you won't use as much as the other two. But if you do have clients with multiple properties, you can set up a property-based campaign, which will trigger or at least fire out based on first, second, or third mortgage. So you can set that up if you have that particular campaign. Now that you understand types, I'm just going to move over to channels now. Channels allows you to fire things out in either an email or a text message. Text message, I just want to mention, is an SMS. So it's just verbiage. There's not going to be links and videos and pictures and that. If you want to go for that, you're going to go for email. Now, from the home screen, next important point that I want you to note, again, if you take anything out of this, is you have audience lists over here. Audience lists can be built from this purple audience, create an audience list button over here, and you can begin building them. Now, what are these? Well, alternative to regular campaigns that you set up, audience lists are a specific group that you want to target, but very importantly, you only want to target these people. So with an audience list, this is critical. I'm not looking, or I don't want Velocity to go and find people who apply to this trigger and pull them out and add them and blast this information out to them. Instead, what I want here is I want to take a group of people and I want to market to them alone. So for example, a great idea here is realtors. So if I have a group of realtors, I just make an audience list, put them all in there. And then if I have communication that only goes to those people, I'll send it out. Same with your lawyers, specific clients, specific individuals within a specific age range, whatever that may be. But I only want to target these people. I don't want Velocity to pull people out. Now, it's important if you understand that component, because you don't want to go and build an audience list, which includes new clients that you put in every day, and you want them to be pulled out of Velocity, because then you should be setting up a campaign instead. So if you understand those two components, those are the two most important. From here, I want to shift on over and go into our templates, because this is the visual component and when it gets exciting and nice and artistic. All right, email templates and SMS templates. Those are the two that you have. SMS, again, like I said, is just verbiage. It's just words. It's just a text message. You won't go, or at least you can set those up for yourself. I want to show you email because those are the more complex ones and they're more artistic in the sense that they can be added. It's video can be added, images can be added, links can be added, buttons, and you can play around with what's available to you. To create a template, I can go to the purple button over here to create a new one. The ones that you've created, you will see available for you to go ahead and use, but I can also create one from the purple button. Going here now, I will observe all the themes available to me. All themes I will find as well as your specific office theme. So if you're DLC, MCC, MA, you will find your office themes down or within this particular tab button over here. And next to that, you will find generic themes. The generic themes are the ones that are built by Newton, and those are the ones you can see on my profile. If you have a scroll on through these, you will see that we have everything from leads all the way to birthdays, candidate day. You have happy holidays. You have all the different things that we've thought of that we've built up for you. We've tried our best to create a template which is applicable to most components of how it is that you do business. We've gone one step further to even create them in English as well as French, so you have both options available to you for you to utilize. Having said that, try to ensure you're using the correct one. You don't want to use the incorrect language where you don't want to. Now, once you've selected the template that you wanted to go and use, be that one built by Newton or built by your specific office, you will select that template by going down and finding this little purple pencil. So it's white, and when I scroll over it, it turns purple. If I click that, the first thing I would do is I would name that template. Call it whatever you want, but that is the one that you're going to find under that name within your templates, and you can paste that into a campaign. This will then open up that template that we've built for you. If you want to edit anything such as a picture, verbiage, anything at all, just go ahead and click on it, and you can edit it in the side over here. Change up colors, change up text. With pictures, you can change up images, anything you want. Now, if you want to add anything to this template, that's also an option. You can add images, text, buttons, space, video, your social media tags, anything that you wish. Now, what you will notice over here, you can edit things on the side when you click on it, and here is all the editing functions. Go through those. However, I do want to show you how to add. So here, for example, this particular template that I've chosen as an example does not have my social media. So if I wanted to add that, I would just select social media and simply drag and drop it onto the template and release it. Now what you will notice is my social media becomes available. If I want to edit it in any way, I'd simply click on it. To edit my social media, I can change the look and feel from here, and I can choose any look that I like. If I don't have a specific social media, for example, I do not have a YouTube page, I can simply remove it from there. However, whatever link you've selected and inserted in here, your client will just click on that icon and it will take them to that link. Likewise, with the verbiage or any words, you can add merge tags to find any merge tag that you want. And there's also in here a unsubscribe link if you wanted to add that in as well. To change up images, just click on an image, go and find the image that you would like to add. And once you have found it, just go ahead and click on it and you can add it on in. Once you're happy with your template, that's all being edited, you can just go ahead and save it from the purple Save Template button over here. If I hit Save Template, it's going to save all of my beautiful artwork to the template section for me to go ahead and utilize in here. Now, I've built my communication. I know what I want to send out. The next component is building a campaign to which this will fire out to any individuals that I wanted to go on out to. To build these, you can go to campaigns over here. Now, you will see any campaigns that you've built will appear here, and you can manage them, pause them, or delete them as you wish. To build a new one, you would go ahead and click on the purple Create Campaign over here. And what that will do for you is it's going to allow you to begin building out this messaging that you want to fire to your clients. Now, the first thing that I want to show you here is that Velocity has taken the liberty to go ahead and build some campaigns for you. So at the bottom over here, you will see these pre-built campaigns. On your CRM, you will have a lot more than you're seeing on mine. I just have the ones that I need to show you as an example. I made a template that included a birthday campaign. Now, you will notice there are many pre-built ones for you, but I'm going to use the birthday as an example. If I want to use a pre-built campaign, having built a template, I can just scroll on over to this purple pencil and click on use. Do not click on the birthday, click on the purple pencil that says use. What's going to open up is this particular page, and now you've got a name to your campaign, and underneath that, you have an audience to which this campaign will be fired. All of this, if you use a campaign that's built by Velocity or that's pre-built, all of this will be done for you. The next section is the stages of your campaign. I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow and show you what that is. The first thing over here is the template. Now, of course, your template is personal to you. It is what you want to go ahead and use. So I've just built a nice one that's for birthday. I'm going to click on that, select template, and I'm going to use the one that I've just gone ahead and built. That will ensure that that particular template goes out to my clients. The next one is the subject line, which is what do I want the subject line of this particular email to say? And that, again, if you've used a pre-built campaign, will be done for you. Completely editable, of course, but these are done for you. The only work you have to do is paste in the template that you like. Under rules and conditions, we would have set that up for you to fire on the individual's birthday. That you can change that if you like, but I would assume on the birthday would be the best one for this example. That will all be set up for you. No work done on your side at all. Approval is found just below schedule, and I'll return to schedule in a moment, but approval is found just below that. And this is a section as which you indicate, do you want to give approval before this fires, or do you want to auto approve it? So if it's a birthday card that you've designed, you may want to auto approve it, and it will then fire out under the rules and conditions that we've stipulated, which is on that individual's birthday. So Velocity will find that individual's birthday. If you click auto approve, you never have to monitor this. It's always going to fire out whenever that individual's birthday is. If you want to make sure you've got your hand on it and watch it, or maybe your office only sends birthday cards to clients that are not leads, that have closed maybe, then you can go to requires approval, and you can manage the birthday cards that go out via the requires approval. Now, those are managed from your activity page over here, and I'll pop in there in a moment. However, everything over here is done for you. The only work that needs to be done is pop your template in and choose whether you want to approve this or not. Once done, you can add a recurrence as well as publish that campaign. When you hit publish, this will ensure that that fires out under the rules and conditions that you've set up, which is the birthday of this individual. Going back to campaigns now, under create campaign and pre-built session, pre-built campaigns, I also have a deal-based, such as maturity. You will have this built in for you as well. Again, your audience is set up for you to anybody who's at least funded and awaiting payment. It's set up in 3 stages. It fires out 180, 90, and 60. You might have a 5-stage campaign built into yours, and you will notice everything's done for you again. We've got a subject line, all the rules and conditions set up for you already. Just pop in your template and choose whether you want to approve this or not, and go ahead and publish. So my suggestion there, have a look at the campaigns that we've created for you under pre-built, and go ahead and make those active for yourself. Now, since it's Halloween and you're thinking, well, what happens if I need to create a campaign that's not pre-built? Well, you would go ahead and build it from scratch on the top. So we'll build a Halloween one, the end of the day, and this will be a Halloween. So assuming that you've built a Halloween template, you can go and let's get started. Now, when you're building something from scratch, it will take you through it step by step. Step number 1, what type of campaign do you want? And this is why I focused in on this in the beginning. Deal, contact, or property-based campaign. It's got nothing to do with the deal of the property. It's got to do with the people. It's a Halloween card. Go to continue. Next step, what channel do you want to use? Email or SMS? I'm assuming you've made a template for email. We'll go ahead and choose that. What type of campaign? This is also very important, dynamic or targeted. To understand this, you have to understand audience lists. Targeted campaign is an audience list that you've created, which means it will only fire to the people in that list. Dynamic, on the other hand, allows you to set rules and conditions that pulls people out of your contact list and pops this on out to them. I will then hit continue here, and under here, it will be named, and you will notice I do not have an audience. Now I can go ahead and add as many conditions as I wish. So over I have the ability to choose. I can go lead entry date, contact status, but contact birthday. It's got nothing to do with lead entry date or birthday. I will choose the status. I can go is a contact. And this will mean that the audience will be defined by anybody who is a contact. You can go for lead as well if you so wish. Underneath the bottom now, I will have absolutely nothing done for me. So I will choose whatever template that I need to choose and go ahead and select it, and it will pop it on in. The subject line will also not be done. I will need to do that. And that will be the subject line for my email. Rules and conditions, they're optional over here. I'm going to leave them my entire audience. So every contact gets one. That should be fine. That goes out. Now, schedule is important for this particular email because specific ones, happy holidays, happy Canada Day, happy Halloween, they go out at a specific time. So it's not about setting up rules and conditions as to when this triggers, it's scheduling a specific date. So if that is the case, you can go to schedule and you can set up the date. And that's obviously today. And we can say, okay, now we've set up a particular date and it will fire on out. The next thing is, do you want it to be approved or not? Whenever you're going to a pre-built campaign or anything set up from scratch, it will automatically be set to requires approval automatically. Now you can go for requires approval here, which means that you have to make sure that you approve all the Halloween cards that go out to all your clients, or you can auto approve and it will fire out on that specific scheduled date that you're seeing over there. You can set a recurrence if you like for it to go out every year, for it to go out on that specific date every year. And you can just publish your campaign once you have set that up. And that is how to set up campaigns using your templates. Now, if you've set to requires approval, your activity page is where you would monitor that. So if you want to make sure it's correct in the moment, you want to make sure your template is going out to the right people, because you don't want the embarrassment of it going out to somebody that doesn't require it. Everybody to whom it is going out will be here, and you can approve individually or approve in bulk from here if you would like to do that as well. So the approval component is still here just to back yourself up, but you have the nice, or at least the ability to make templates and have those extra features, video, links, and buttons, and all those fun things as well. So from here, I will suggest you play around with your templates, play around with your campaigns, and try to build, or at least go for the pre-built ones, and become familiar with those particular triggers that are available to you. Alrighty, I'll stop here and turn off, since we have about 4 minutes. Are there any questions which I need to address directly there? I'm speaking to my team.
Yes, we have some questions for you. One question is, if there are duplicate contacts in an audience list, and you send out a campaign to that audience list, will it be sent to the multiple?
It will not. So luckily with the duplicate contacts, if you've got one campaign, it's smart enough to realize the email address is the same. It will not send out more than one. So don't worry about that happening.
Awesome. Cool. There's another question. How can I look at a template to see if it's what I want to use before I select it?
So you're going to see everything in your template over here. If you want to send out a test one, you're welcome to send out the test to yourself. Put your own email address in there and send out the test campaign. So if you want to see what the client sees. But everything in the templates, if you set that on up, it will look exactly like the template.
Awesome. Okay. How do you delete a contact?
That is a question for Velocity, not for CRM. So we can address, pop us an email and we can address that.
Okay, just to confirm, the easiest way to do that, you can just unsubscribe the person from Castle, and that will ensure that none of these CRM emails go out to them. So that's one.
just related to CRM, yes.
Sure. Is there anything else here? Okay, historic deal will go to CRM campaigns. I'm not sure I understand that question.
That's a question with regard to Velocity. Pop us an email, we can answer anything that's not related to CRM, like historical deals and so forth, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, I'm gonna throw the email address in the chat for the last time today. But that's all the questions.
Alrighty, guys, you've got our email address. We'll send you out a recording as well. That's it. Have a fantastic rest of your day and Halloween. Yeah, that's about it. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. The